Do you know which is the only car to have its star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Do you know which movie destroyed the most amount of cars during its production? And do you know what was the very first Batmobile? Now you're intrigued. This and a lot more coming up in 101 Most Interesting Facts About Cars from the Silver Screens. Hey, I'm Stipe. Let's roll this thing! Number 1. Originally, the time machine in Back to the Future was supposed to be a refrigerator, but director Robert Zemeckis feared that the kids would get trapped inside them after seeing the movie, so he swapped the fridge for a DeLorean. But why that car specifically, you might ask?
If you're gonna build a time machine into a car, why not do it with some style?
It's because it looked futuristic. That's why. Number 2. Among all the celebrity names on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, there is one car name, too. Chevy's marketing team did some digging, and it turns out their Suburban has appeared in more than 1,700 movies and TV shows since its silver screen debut in 1952. So they petitioned the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to recognize its massive contribution to the industry, and well, ta-da! Number 3. Do you know what typecasting is? It's when an actor keeps landing the same kind of roles in every single movie. Need a tough guy? Vin Diesel. Need a bumbling romantic? Hugh Grant. Need a Hector? This guy. Literally. But need a taxi or a police car? I've got just 3 words for you. Ford, Crown, Victoria. Usually these cars are just background filler for the scene, but even when the Crown Vic was casted as the hero's car, it was again a taxi and a cop car. Apparently, this Ford has appeared in over 10,000 movies and TV shows. So where is its Hollywood star? Number 4. This terminology is going to come up a lot in this video, so let's get it out of the way and into your brain. Film productions usually follow a strict hierarchy for vehicles. Hero car, perfect condition, used for close-ups and promotional shots. Driver car, good condition, used for standard driving scenes. Stunt car, heavily modified for safety and high-speed action. Smash car, used specifically for destruction. Number 5. So which movies destroyed the most cars? The 1980 classic The Blues Brothers famously killed 103. When they made a sequel 18 years later, the director deliberately destroyed 104 just to break the previous record. Then came The Matrix Reloaded, which trashed 300 real cars just for that one freeway chase scene. But the absolute record holder is Transformers: The Dark Moon. 532 cars. You should know most cars that get destroyed in movies are either low value or junkers meant to be scrapped anyway, so who cares? But you will care about this one. Number 6. 7 out of 10 Aston Martin DB10s, made specifically for James Bond Spectre, were completely trashed, and each one was valued at around $4 million. Toss in a Jaguar CX-75 hypercar, some Land Rover Defenders, and a few dozen background cars, and the total value destroyed was $48 million. According to Guinness, that is an all-time record. Number 7, the story of how they filmed some high-speed scenes from the movie Le Mans was honestly insane. The film crew actually entered the real 1970 24 Hours Le Mans with a real Porsche 908 race car fitted with cameras all over it. Turns out that wasn't against the rules.
I'll allow it.
And they didn't just get a few quick shots and pack it up. No, they ran the entire 24 hours and finished 9th overall. The result would have been even better if they weren't constantly pulling into the pits just to change out the film and the cameras. Numero 80. While James Bond is best known for driving Aston Martins,
You'll be using this Aston Martin DB5.
over the decades, shown a fondness for Lotus and BMW too. However, none of these are the biblically correct Bond cars. In Ian Fleming's original novel, 007 actually drives a 1930 4.5-liter Bentley Blower. Number 9. The iconic sound of the giant rolling boulder chasing Indiana Jones wasn't a boulder at all. It was the sound of a Honda Civic rolling down a gravel road.
A car rolling down a gravel road became this.
Number 10, meanwhile in the galaxy far, far away, the pod racers sound a lot like the 90s F1 cars. Old Mustangs, racing Porsches, and even some diesel trucks. Number 11.
Nice car. What's the retail on one of those?
More than you can afford, pal.
Ferrari.
Yeah, that may have been true back in 2001, but the popularity of the Fast and Furious movie skyrocketed the value of this Toyota to the point that today, a clean Supra is worth way more than the Ferrari 355.
Damn.
Number 12, non-star cars, like background traffic, taxis, or other police cruisers, are usually rentals from companies like Cinema Vehicles, whose entire business revolves around loaning cars to Hollywood. Prices range from $150 to more than $800 a day. Quentin Tarantino famously rented more than 2,000 period-correct cars just to recreate 1969 LA for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You do the math. Number 13, remember this scene from John Wick?
Nice ride.
Mustang. Boss 429.
Nope, that's not a Boss 429. It's a 69 Mach 1. Still cool, but much less rare and much less valuable. Also, the noise it makes isn't a Mustang noise at all. Sound designers layered in the audio of a 70 Chevy Chevelle 454 SS because it had a throatier growl that sounded way more intimidating. Number 14, there was absolutely nothing futuristic about the 2043 6000 SUX from RoboCop, considering the production team built it using a 1977 Oldsmobile Cutlass. Also, the name 6000 sucks is a direct jab at the Pontiac 6000, which the producer was famously not a fan of. You suck! Number 15, in the horror movie The Car, a custom 1971 Lincoln Continental Mark III was modified for an even more menacing look. Roof lowered, fenders widened, and a truck horn repeatedly blared out the Morse code letter X, which literally stood for exterminate. Number 16, the Eleanor Mustang from the original 1974 Gone in 60 Seconds is the first car in Hollywood history to receive a movie screen credit. Why? Because this one same car did every single scene. Close-ups, heavy stunt driving, and even a nasty accident with the pole, which it somehow survived. So yeah, she definitely earned it. Number 17. Because Eleanor appeared directly in the movie credits, Denise Halicki, the widow of the film's creator, argued that the Eleanor car was a legal character, just like Mickey Mouse, and therefore sued anyone, including Carroll Shelby, who tried to copy its design. It doesn't matter if it's the original or a remake with Nicolas Cage, you were getting served. This copyright tyranny lasted all the way until 2022, when the court finally ruled that because Eleanor can't think or act on her own, she is just a car. Number 18. Meanwhile, Ferrari sued the living crap out of a company that built the replica 250 GT California Spider for Ferris Bueller's Day Off, driving them completely out of business. Ferrari legally claims that their cars are literally works of art, meaning the 3 replicas Modena designed created for the film were deemed a blatant case of plagiarism. I guess it would have been fine if a real California Spider got destroyed instead. And the pettiness didn't even stop there. Ferrari also sued the producers of Miami Vice for using a Corvette-based Ferrari Daytona replica. So guess what happened next? The production team literally blew up the replica on screen with a Stinger missile. And from then on, the main character drove a genuine Ferrari Testarossa. Nice! Number 19, that high-speed chase in Ronin looks real because it was done for real. Unlike in most other movies where the film is just sped up, all of these scenes were filmed at full speed, which explains that genuinely terrified look on Robert De Niro's face. And he wasn't even driving, he's holding a fake steering wheel.
It's a fake wheel, dummy.
The real one is on the right side of the car and in the hands of a former F1 driver. No, I'm not going to attempt to pronounce that guy's name. Allegedly, over 300 stunt drivers were hired for this movie, and it shows. Number 20. When the stunt team rolled Daniel Craig's Aston Martin DBS in Casino Royale, they accidentally set a Guinness World Record for the most barrel rolls in a car. 7. Who even knew that there was a category for that?
Car program on TV went for the world record and they got 5. Now we beat that by 2, so we're sort of checking to see if that's the official world record now, which would be nice if it is.
Number 21, another James Bond role worth mentioning is the famous Astro spiral jump with the AMC Hornet from The Man with the Golden Gun. Now, since realistic CGI didn't exist way back then, this stunt had to be done for real. But how do you calculate the exact ramp angle, the perfect approach speed, and the complex mid-air weight distribution? Well, it was all mapped out at the Cornell's Aeronautical Laboratory using a groundbreaking high-tech piece of wizardry, a computer. But in all seriousness, it was an amazing stunt, ruined when the production decided to add this cartoonish slide whistle sound.
Come on, man.
Number 22, in the movie Bullet, the Black Charger loses at least 5 hubcaps throughout that chase scene. Last time I checked, cars only come with 4. Also, check out how they expertly edited out this crash. Number 23, the iconic A-Team van, the GMC Vandura, was intentionally modified by the build team to handle terribly, making all the high-speed driving scenes look way more chaotic and dramatic on television.
Fucking thing sucks!
Number 24, the famous Dragula coffin car from the Munsters was built from a real coffin. Because it was illegal to buy a coffin without a death certificate at the time, legendary custom car designer George Barris had to pay a funeral director cash under the table to accidentally leave one sitting outside the parlor's back door in the middle of the night. Holy crap, that's some lore. Number 25, the most valuable single car destroyed for a movie is the Porsche 917K on the set of Le Mans. The crash wasn't planned at all, and it was so brutal that the professional racing driver David Piper lost his leg.
Where exactly did you lose it?
So just how valuable is the 917K? Well, this one, which also appeared in the same movie, sold in 2017 at an auction for $14 million. Number 26, okay, this one's a funny one. The first ever live-action Batmobile wasn't much of a Batmobile at all. It was just a 1939 Cadillac Series 75 convertible. When Bruce Wayne was behind the wheel, the top was down so everyone could see him, but when he switched to being Batman, the roof went up in order to further conceal his identity. Same car, same license plates, and yet nobody in Gotham City could work out who this masked vigilante really is. Number 27, the first Batmobile featured in the comic books was actually bright red. But why did it switch to black? Because red in those old black and white movies shows as black. And so it's been black ever since. Number 28, creator of the Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, said he was very particular about which car which actor would drive. So, to portray a genius chemist who squandered his potential, he gave him the Pontiac Aztek, the ultimate loser car that people wouldn't touch with a 6-foot pole. However, because of the popularity of the show, the value of the Aztecs is slowly but surely creeping up. Number 29, meanwhile, the loser car in the Joe Dirt movie was a rusty, primer-painted 1969 Dodge Charger Daytona. And that makes 0 sense. In 2001, a Daytona was already an extremely collectible 6-figure car, and I'm sure that even in this rundown state, it would still be out of the league for Joe, who worked as a janitor. Number 30, during his entire tenure as James Bond, Roger Moore never actually drove an Aston Martin. But in the movie The Cannonball Run, where he sort of plays himself racing across the United States, he finally does. And it's not just any Aston, it's the OG one. The exact same DB5 that Sean Connery drove in Goldfinger and in Thunderball. Number 31, the original 1979 Mad Max movie was shot on such a shoestring budget that the production team didn't even have enough cash to pay the mechanic who kept the legendary Falcon XV Interceptor running. So they worked out a deal. They just let him keep the car as payment once filming wrapped. But then they had to buy it back from him for the sequel.
You want it back?
Number 32, this is how they filmed some of the crazy driving in the movie Baby Driver. You have a stunt driver pulling all the moves from his pod on the roof while the camera is on the actors turning the fake steering wheel. Also, the WRX was converted to rear-wheel drive so it could slide much easier. Number 33, the cherry red Chevelle Malibu driven by Vincent Vega in Pulp Fiction is the director's Quentin Tarantino's own car. And guess what? It got stolen during the production of the film. That whole scene about not f***ing with another man's vehicle was added as a threat to the thief.
Still got your Malibu?
Oh, man. I had it in storage for 3 years. It was out 5 days, and some d***less piece of shit with it.
They used to be killed, man. No trial, no jury, straight to execution.
Boy, I wish I could have caught him doing it. I'd have given anything to catch that asshole doing it.
19 years later, police found it in the garage of a man named Bill Jimenez. He had restored it and driven it all over the country to different shows without even knowing it was a movie car.
You know who Quentin Tarantino is? Nope. Had no clue who it was. He goes, you ever see the movie Pulp Fiction? Nope.
And according to him, he bought it from some kids and it was in really bad shape. Tarantino never reimbursed him for restoring it to perfect condition.
Number 34.
Another movie car that got stolen couldn't have been any more famous. It's the first 007 Aston, the DB5 from Goldfinger, Thunderbolt, and that Cannonball cameo. It was stolen on June 18th, 1997 from a hangar at the airport in Florida, and it still hasn't been found. Luckily for the owner, the insurance company covered the loss, but unfortunately for them, the payout was $4.2 million.
They stole what?
Number 35, the first Bad Boys movie was also made on a tight budget. In it, Will Smith drives a 911 Turbo, which was actually owned by the director Michael Bay. Given how many cars this guy likes to destroy in his movies, it's refreshing to see that the Porsche didn't get a single scratch during the entire production. Oh, I see how it is. It's different when it's your car. Number 36, the first electric Mini, or rather Minis, were made for the 2003 remake of The Italian Job. Specifically, they were built for that LA subway tunnel scene. This city was extremely strict about the exhaust fumes in the poorly ventilated tunnels, so going electric was the only solution. Now, since the first electric Mini wouldn't go into production for another 17 years after the movie, the film crew had no choice but to build theirs by cannibalizing EV golf carts. And it shows. Strip away the sound and man, Stephen Hawking moves faster than that. Number 37, if you thought the oscillating lights on the Knight Rider's kit look a lot like the visor on Cyclones from the Battlestar Galactica, well, there's a reason for that. Both shows were created by the same guy, Glenn Larson. Number 38, the most famous wreck car in the movie is probably the White Countach from The Wolf of Wall Street. Usually, a movie would destroy a cheap replica, but Martin Scorsese wanted total realism and destroyed a real Lambo in this scene. It was later sold, still wrecked by the way, for a whopping $1.3 million. That's double what you'd pay for a non-crashed one, simply because it was in the movie. Number 39, The Italian Job also trashed a real Lambo, the Mura, but there is a catch with this one. The production team bought an already crashed one, just so they could roll it down a hill. The next day, when the crew came to retrieve it, the car was nowhere to be found. So, anyone want to go fishing with me? Even in pieces, a Mura wreck is worth an absolute fortune today.
God damn.
Number 40, I can only go so high. The super ugly family truckster from the movie National Lampoon's Vacation can actually be seen during the opening credits of Married with Children. It's a B-roll that was never used in the film, so it was simply licensed for the show. Number 41, the first movie car chase scene was in a 1903 silent film called Runaway Match. Although it was a lot less enthralling than the stunt-heavy madness that we have today, this little short was pretty exciting for its time. Number 42, in Blade Runner 2049, we see Ryan Gosling flying a Peugeot, which is a way of telling the viewers that the movie is, in fact, science fiction. Not because of the flying cars, but because a Peugeot? In America? No way. Number 43, Johnny Tran's Honda S2000 from the first Fast and the Furious movie actually returns in the sequel, though you'd never recognize it, ever. It's this, the exact same car, just very pink right now. Why didn't Universal Pictures just buy another used one, customize it, and sell the old hero car to cover the expense? You know, like how they sold Jesse's Jetta to that Malcolm in the Middle kid for a nice and round 100 grand? Huh? Why didn't they?
I'll tell you. I don't know.
44. The Gran Torino from The Big Lebowski took quite a beating during the filming. And was ultimately destroyed in a fire. But did you know that there was another one? The beauty car, ironic I know, which was used for close-ups, actually survived the movie, only to be destroyed later on the set of X-Files.
Well, they finally did it. They killed my f***ing car.
Number 45, the Starsky and Hutch Torino, aka the Striped Tomato, lived a hard life too, but for a very different reason. Michael Glazer, who played Starsky, hated how it looked and actively wanted to destroy it.
And I did. I tried all the time to wreck it. That car had more Bondo on it at the end of the series.
Number 46, for the promotion of the third XXX movie with Mark Sinclair, or as he's better known as, Vin Diesel, the studio pulled off a stunt that every gearhead dreams of. They partnered with Turo to rent out the film's actual hero car. That's right, the rocket-firing, flame-spitting 67 Pontiac GTO, God, I can feel my balls getting bigger just talking about it, was now available to the public to drive, although the weapons were not operational at the time. Still, $1,000 for the day, and you get to experience what it was like to live your life a quarter mile at a time, or something like that. Number 47, the Toyota 2000 GT is the holy grail of Japanese cars. It was beautiful, it was rare, and, as it turns out, way too small for Sean Connery to fit in. So Toyota made 2 Roadster versions just for the movie. Today, one sits in the Toyota Museum and will never be sold, but the other is in a private collection. If that car were to go up for auction, experts estimate that it would fetch between $10 and $15 million easily. Basically, this is the most valuable Japanese car ever made. Number 48. Bond's Toyota is not the most valuable car ever used in a movie. That honor goes to this 1967 Ferrari 275 Nart Spider from the Thomas Crown Affair.
Is that one of those red Italian things? One of those red Italian things.
Only 10 were ever built, and today, each one is worth around $25 million. You'll probably never see a car more valuable than that on screen for a very, very simple reason. Who's gonna pay the insurance on it?
You scratched what?
Number 49. Although this is possible in real life, you need a lot of power and a lot of traction to pull it off. But given that the Dom's Charger is just a standard 426 Hemi with a fake blower on top, they had to use some movie magic to pull it off. Number 50. The script for the Need for Speed movie called for 15 hypercars worth around $30 million combined, or around half of the movie's entire budget. And most of them were supposed to be crashed too. So instead, they built them as replicas in just 6 months, and it really shows.
What is that? What the f*** is that?
Number 51. Pay attention to this scene from The Vanishing Point. Did you spot the switch? Suddenly a white Dodge Challenger becomes a cheaper white Chevy Camaro, and they thought nobody would notice. Well, I did. Number 52. Furious 7 is the highest grossing car-themed movie ever made. It earned $1.5 billion. That's billion with a B. But why? Why did people pay to watch this? I thought it was just super dumb.
The street always wins.
I'm sorry, I just can't. Number 53, because of the ridiculous nature of stunts performed in the Fast and Furious franchise, you'd expect all of them to simply be CGI, but no. When you watch a half dozen cars drop out of a C-130 cargo plane in Furious 7, those are real, functioning vehicles falling through the sky. When a battle tank crushes a car on a highway in Fast and Furious 6, that's a real tank, flattening a real car. And that bank vault heist from Fast 5, no CGI either. The crew built a fully motorized, drivable truck disguised as a steel vault. Number 54, Brian's iconic silver and blue R34 Skyline was almost something else entirely. After seeing the success of the first movie, Dodge wanted to do some product placement in the sequel, and they approached the producers with an idea for a new car for the lead actor. Hopes were high. Ooh, we're getting a new Viper? No, we were thinking the Neon SRT4. What do you say?
It is.
No. 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 Hell no.
True story, by the way. Number 55, the car from the Titanic sex scene isn't just some random old prop. It's a faithful replica of the Renault Type CB Coupe de Ville, which is well documented to have been on board the ship when it sank. We actually know which section of the cargo hold it was stored in, who it belonged to, and even what it looks like now. You gotta give James Cameron props for going so far just to make a made-up sex scene more historically accurate. Props to you, James.
High five.
Number 56. We never got to see an Apple iCar in real life, but we did get to see one in Pixar's Cars. It's a white racing car named Mac iCar, and it's a direct nod to Steve Jobs, who at the time was the majority shareholder of Pixar. Number 57, after filming the underwater scene in The Spy Who Loved Me, the submarine Lotus was shipped to Long Island and just left forgotten in a container. 10 years later, after the storage lease expired, the container was put up for a blind auction. If you've ever seen an episode of Storage Wars, it's like that, except no peeking to see what's inside. Long story short, some guy bought it for just $100 and later sold it for nearly $1 million to none other than Elon Musk. I bet he brings up that story every conversation.
Kill me.
Number 58, many racing scenes in the F1 movie come from real race weekends. They just digitally comp the fake Apex GP team over the real footage. Number 56, those Apex GP cars from the F1 movie are actually Formula 2 cars dressed up to look like Formula 1. They are slower, easier to drive, and most importantly, much cheaper in case you're planning to throw one over a fence. Number 60, because of the massive popularity of the Smokey and the Bandit movies, sales of the Pontiac Firebird Trans Am absolutely soared, going from barely over 1,200 units in 1972 to more than 117,000 in 1979. Number 61, no car got more or better free advertising than the DeLorean with the Back to the Future trilogy. Too bad the DeLorean Motor Company went bust just 2 years before the first movie hit theaters, meaning they got absolutely nothing out of all the newfound fame.
Nothing.
Number 62, ever wonder what the deal is with that weird nose wing on the Cannonball Run Countach? Well, Lamborghini couldn't officially sell the Countach in the United States during the late 70s because it didn't meet the new federal safety standards. The bumper was too low. Solution? This. Yes, that's not actually an aerodynamic wing, it's a bumper that the US owners installed just to make the car legal to import. It's pretty ironic to see a car go through so much trouble to become a street-legal vehicle, only to spend an entire movie running from the law. Number 63, director Sam Raimi has included a yellow 1973 Oldsmobile Delta 88 in every single one of his movies. As the story goes, back in his student filmmaking days, whenever he needed a car for a scene, he would just borrow his mom's. And her car was, you guessed it, a yellow Olds Delta 88. He borrowed that car for his low-budget horror hit The Evil Dead and then continued including it in every movie he made since. Number 64, this one-of-a-kind Lamborghini Huracan is the fastest and most expensive camera rig in the world. And that's not just because it's a Lambo. The car itself only costs around 200 grand, which is about what the front camera alone retails for. The rear one, that's $500,000. Okay, that one time that they mounted a tiny DJI camera to the back of a Bugatti Chiron to film another Chiron do 0 to 250 back to 0 miles per hour was technically a more expensive rig. But I'm not going to give that the top spot on a technicality. Number 65. Underneath the fuzzy, dog-shaped Mutt Cuts van from Dumb and Dumber is this Ford Econoline. There, in case you always wanted to make a replica, now you know what to start with. Just be prepared to spend a fortune on carpet since you'll need 1,700 square feet of it. To help you visualize that, that's enough to cover an entire volleyball court. Number 66. Some automotive historians argue that the brutal mockery of the station wagon in National Lampoon's Vacation single-handedly triggered the decline of that entire segment over the following decade. Number 67. The pussy wagon from Tarantino's Kill Bill is actually a direct reference to Grease. Not only that, but the Chevy Nova from Death Proof features the exact same iconic rubber duck hood ornament as the Mack truck from Convoy. To top it all off, the Nova's license plates are a perfect match for the ones on Steve McQueen's Mustang in Bullet. What can I say? Dude loves I'll reference other movies.
From Wild Bill, there was a shot of a guy falling face first in the mud and not saving himself.
Number 68, Audi sponsored the Iron Man movie. I wonder if you can tell. Here's one. Here's another one. And another one. And another one way over here. Yeah, subtle. Real subtle. Just play it real casual, not even say the number. Just number nice. In Christopher Nolan's Batman trilogy, Bruce Wayne drives a Lamborghini Murcielago. And there's nothing random about that choice. In Spanish, Murcielago means bat. Number 70. The General Lee from the Dukes of Hazzard is most famous for two things: its controversial roof flag and jumps. Lots of jumps, which it rarely survived. During the 7th season that the show was on, 325 Chargers were destroyed. Number 71, the Dukes of Hazzard carnage was so severe that the show caused a massive statewide shortage of Dodge Chargers. The crew got so desperate that they actually used a helicopter to spot them in parking lots and driveways, offering owners cash on the spot. Maybe just dial it down with the jumps just a little bit? Number 72, the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 was a total piece of shit on screen and off it.
Need some suspension work and shocks and brakes, brake pads, lining, steering box, transmission, rear end. How much? Only $4,800. Maybe new rings, also.
All these things listed were wrong with it for real. That smoke, that wasn't a practical effect. That was Ecto-1's engine literally dying. Number 73. Originally, Bumblebee was a classic VW Beetle, but Michael Bay thought that the Bug was just way too lame for a modern action movie, so he swapped it out for a Camaro. Years later, in the 2018 Bumblebee movie, director Travis Knight swapped it back to a Beetle. But honestly, Michael Bay might have been right. This is lame.
Lame.
Number 74, the whole Camaro being Bumblebee was a huge product placement by GM, except that car didn't go on sale for 2 more years. So what's the point of marketing it if nobody can buy it? Also, the Camaros in the movie were Australian Holden Monaros with Camaro-looking fiberglass bodies just on top. Number 75, with every new director comes a brand new Batmobile, but there's one rule that they all share. They are always fully functional cars. Matt Reeves' version is a real deal 650 horsepower all-wheel drive muscle car. Christopher Nolan's Tumbler is a custom-built tank that does 0 to 60 in 5 seconds. Too bad Tim Burton's iconic 1989 ride wasn't quite as impressive. Top speed on that one was around 30 miles an hour. Still look good though. Here we go with number 76. Volkswagen originally wanted absolutely nothing to do with Herbie the Love Bug because allegedly they hated the script. That's why you don't see a single VW logo anywhere in the car due to trademark issues, and the word Volkswagen is never spoken out loud. Instead, Herbie was always referred to as the little car or the bug or simply Herbie. But after the movie became a massive box office smash hit, VW had a serious change of heart. For the sequels, they were more than happy to prominently feature their logos, and they even paid Disney for the licensing rights to sell official Herbie Racing stripe kits right out of the dealership showrooms. Number 77, 2 Mustangs were used to film the legendary movie Bullitt, 1 hero car for close-ups and 1 stunt car. After production wrapped, both cars vanished. Poof! Car enthusiasts and even Steve McQueen himself spent nearly 50 years searching for them with 0 luck. Then, bam, in 2017, the beaten-up stunt car was discovered in a Mexican junkyard of all places. The new owner was actually planning to turn it into an Eleanor replica until a routine VIN check confirmed it was the long-lost movie car. Then, a year later, some guy named Robert Kiernan revealed to the world that he owns the hero car. Apparently his dad bought it right after filming ended and just forgot about it. Because that's the life I want to live. I just buy a goddamn classic car and just, whoops, slip my mind. That car was then sold at an auction for $3.47 million, making it, at the time, the most expensive Mustang ever sold. Number 78, for Mad Max Fury Road, over 150 bizarre-looking, fully functional wasteland cars were made. And Morton Joe's Gigahorse, for example, really is 2 Cadillacs on top of each other, powered by a pair of 8.2-liter V8 engines. Together, they make 1,200 horsepower.
2 V8 engines locked together into 1 shaft. What more can I say?
79, Tom Selleck, the star of Magnum P.I., is a tall fella, 6'4". So to make him fit inside the Ferrari 308, which was designed for short Italian men, the seat had to be modified to be as thin as possible. Selleck was essentially sitting on the floor and still his head was always sticking out. So why not just pick another car? Because Ferrari was handing out these for free as a product placement, and who in their right mind would say no to a fleet of free Ferraris? Number 80, around 15 Ferrari 308s were used throughout the 8 seasons of Magnum P.I., and each time the show got a new one, the old one was returned to Ferrari, restored to perfect condition, and sold as certified pre-owned. But here's the kicker. Ferrari never bothered to track which one was part of the show, so today you have way more than 15 people claiming that they have the Magnum 308 and are asking a pretty premium for it. Number 81, the least noticeable modification to the time-traveling DeLorean has to be its speedo. In 1979, to discourage people from speeding, a law was passed forcing all new cars, including this one, to have their speedo limited to 85 miles per hour, regardless of their true top speed. Now, since the DeLorean had to hit 88 to travel through time, the gauge was modified to show that. Number 82, the train chase scene in The French Connection looks so chaotic because it wasn't really coordinated. While Gene Hackman was tearing through the streets of New York, he wasn't weaving through paid stunt drivers. No, he was dodging real New Yorkers, just going about their day. This crash, that guy was just running late for work. I wonder if his boss believed him. Dude, I'm telling you, Gene Hackman cut me off. Number 83, this 1955 Lincoln Futura concept car ended up having quite the Hollywood career. First, it appeared in It Started With a Kiss, which was okay, I guess, but it found its true calling when it was transformed into the Batmobile. Sadly, the original concept design was destroyed in the process, but for TV fame, always worth it. Just ask Caitlyn Jenner. Number 84, an old movie from 1938, The Young and Heart, features a custom-built Phantom Corsair prototype designed by Henry Heinz. That's the same Heinz family that runs the ketchup empire. Number 85, the topless Acura NSX that Tony Stark drives in the Avengers is a strange one. That car wouldn't go on sale for the next 6 years, and once it did, there was never a roadster version. What this is, then, is a 1991 NSX dressed up to look like the futuristic next gen, but only on the outside. The interior remained untouched. You can even catch a glimpse of it here. Number 86, ancient cobblestone streets, like those in Matera, Italy, can be so smooth and slippery that it's almost impossible to drive fast on them. So for this scene in No Time to Die, the producers used an old NASCAR trick. They spilled 8,400 gallons of Coca-Cola all over the roads, and by the next morning, they had a nice sticky surface they could actually work with. Number 87, for 28 seasons, Homer Simpson's pink car was just an anonymous sedan until it was revealed that it is, in fact, a 1986 Plymouth Junkerola.
Mine!
Number 88, it took several months to engineer the Bluesmobile so it would fall completely apart at the press of a button. Number 89, remember the scene where Jesse loses a race and just continues driving? That's because he literally couldn't stop. The car was missing its brake calipers.
Where are they?
But for real, those are just some fake disc covers designed to make your brakes look bigger. People actually buy that stuff. Number 90, Tenet is a mind-bending movie featuring a car chase that happens in reverse, and that's exactly how it was filmed, in reverse. Some of the cars were even fitted with a flipped gearbox to give them more reverse gears. Number 91, the river jump in Smokey and the Bandit was assisted by a pair of rocket boosters. Number 92, the mechanics on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood went through a whole lot of trouble to fit Cliff Booth's Carmen Ghia with a Subaru engine and an automatic transmission, just in case Brad Pitt didn't know how to drive the original manual. Well, he does. Seriously? Nobody thought about asking him first? Number 93, the red Plymouth Fury from the movie Christine is a possessed, murderous car with the ability to self-repair. No matter how much you try to kill it, it always comes back to life. Or at least, that's in the movie. Behind the scenes, 28 Furies and many more Belvedere and Savoy look-alike models were destroyed. Number 94. What car is Lightning McQueen? Well, according to Pixar, he's a mix of a Gen 4 NASCAR design with a hint of a Corvette and some GT40. But then they also made a life-size promotional model, and underneath that one was, drumroll please, Trans Am Firebird. Number 95, the 9-liter V16 Rolls-Royce Phantom from Johnny English Reborn is the real deal. Rolls-Royce was thinking about putting that engine into production and even made this fully working prototype. But the plan was very soon abandoned because 9-liter V16 was just too excessive, even for a Rolls.
Goes like the wind, only quieter.
Number 96, Pontiac actually requested that the producers of Knight Rider stop referring to KITT as a Trans Am on air, as customers were showing up to dealerships disappointed that the real cars couldn't talk and didn't look exactly the same. Number 97, the futuristic-looking Durango 95 from A Clockwork Orange was actually a real road-legal production car called the Adams Probe 16. Okay. Production is a bit of a sketch term here since only 3 were ever made, but hey, it was a proper road legal car. What made it so special is that it was, and still is, the lowest production car ever made, only 34 inches tall. It didn't have any doors. You stepped in through the roof. Number 98. Anytime there's a fast driving scene in a movie, no matter what car, there's going to be a V8 growl and a tire screech, even if the character's driving a 4-cylinder hybrid. Seriously, it's like that Wilhelm scream, but for cars. Once you notice it, you can't unnotice it. Number 99. The Jaguar E-Type was the first choice for both The Saint and the first 007 movie, but Jaguar refused to provide one. The E-Type was already the hottest new car in the market. Enzo Ferrari even called it the prettiest ever, and there were more orders than Jaguar could even produce. So they figured, no thanks, we don't need any more marketing. Oh, how short-sighted they were. Number 100. In The Seinfeld Show, Jerry's apartment is full of Porsche posters, even though he drives a Saab. That's because in real life, Seinfeld is one of the biggest Porsche fans / collectors probably ever. Once he even managed to sneak one of his Carreras onto the set. Number 101. Eric Kripke initially wanted Dean Winchester from Supernatural to drive a 65 Mustang, but his neighbor, who's a mechanic, told him that that's a perfect car. If you're a pussy. What you want is something more sinister, like a 67 Impala, because you can put a body in the trunk. Thanks, Kripke's neighbor, whoever the hell you are. And that's it. That's the video. Go watch something else now. I'll see you in the next one.
And I will always love you. My throat's giving out from such a long video.